Good morning. We're heading back into the woods nice and early today. I'm gonna get a quick breakfast, and I think we're aiming to be on the road and out of here by like 7:30. The other guys are sleeping in, so let's go get my French toast breakfast. All done with a quick morning breakfast. We're getting ready to pack up and head out of here in just a minute, so it's cool that we got a ride back up to the trail nice and early, get some good miles in and try to push this long stretch kind of as quick as you can. Should be able to knock this out in 5 days is the goal, so I'll check back in once we get back up to the trailhead area. Okay, we can close these guys up.
I'll get into this.
See you up at the trailhead. And here we are. Just got dropped off. Benchmark area. Getting back on trail. The fog and the clouds and everything was lifting when we were leaving town. We were a little fogged in here when we rolled in, but it's just now starting to lift up here in the mountains. So weather should be good today. And I think the terrain should be moderately easy too. I don't think we're doing any crazy ridgeline ups and downs or anything. A very nice footbridge. This is the South Fork of the Sun River. Just up ahead there, I can see a good Bob Marshall Wilderness sign. Officially entering the Bob. Feels like one of those big milestones. So I think the distance goal for today is going to be somewhere around 20 miles. That'll put us just shy of the Chinese wall, so we'll get to see that first thing tomorrow morning. And then there's some kind of like prohibited camping for a stretch. So you kind of either do a 20-mile day or it'll be like a 24, 25-mile day kind of thing. So I think if we can get that, I think we're still in a good position to get the rest of this stretch knocked out. Trail's all nice and muddy from all the rain and stuff yesterday. But weather's supposed to be good for the rest of this stretch. One thing about all the muddy trail is you can see the prints. That's definitely more like a small bear print, I would say. Maybe a black bear. Still all fogged in up in the mountains. It's almost 10 o'clock. This stuff's just burning off slowly. But like I said, the weather's supposed to be good. So it'll clear up eventually and be nice and sunny and warm. There's another fork of the Sun River going over. And these awesome, well-built, sturdy bridges. Lots of horse travel. I'm imagining this is like a really popular, well-traveled trail from the benchmark trailhead area all the way up to the Chinese wall. It's somewhere around a 20-25 mile distance. Well, it's come up on noon. We're stopped for a lunch break. We'll be chilling here for a bit, trying to lighten our packs. As I said, this is like the longest stretch of the entire Triple Crown, I think. If you're doing the red line the whole way, but we do have the fire divert alternates, so the distance isn't going to be the full like 130 miles or whatever to East Glacier, but packs are definitely a little heavy on this stretch. As we're sitting here having our lunch, I'm just noticing in the trees, fall is definitely in the air. Leaves are all turning yellow, and they're kind of coming down and slowly trickling to the ground. Done with our lunch break and get back on trail. So we were checking out distances and things of what we're gonna do and end up at, and just where the There's a small section where of no camping, and kind of right at the entrance of the Chinese wall section. But that's like another further 10 miles. We've done like 8 already. So distance-wise, I mean, we could push further, but there's no optimal camping because the terrain, any past that for a good distance, is like steep and rocky, kind of looks like. So it's like either do the stop for the day at like 18 miles or so, or push for like, 26 or something. So I think we're just going to end up stopping at that first campsite before the closure. So now we got plenty of time before we get there, and we'll push bigger miles for the remainder of the days that we got in this stretch.
They'll like open up and you can literally like ride your bike through them. And so I remember that. But then like homesteading family is like in like 10 years, you know?
Yeah. So it's like quote unquote fun times.
Yeah. Well, I mean homesteading sounds fun too, but
Yeah.
I'm not ready for it.
That's some nice scenery all day. Occasional overlooks. Continuing to hike up valleys. Easy terrain.
Cauliflower tacos, which is just like cauliflower that's like roasted and like crumbled up. But the key ingredient is just chipotle mayo. And I remember one time, hey, you know. That was very,
Well, we just passed up a big group on horseback, and they had a bunch of pack animals, all their equipment and stuff, and noticed on one of the horses there was a big, fresh elk skull, elk rack. It looked awesome, so those guys got themselves one. It's bow season only out here, so that's pretty impressive to get an elk with a bow and arrow. That was pretty cool. Well, we're at a point where we're just noticing a huge rock wall formation right in front of us. That's got to be some of the parts of the Chinese wall section. The main walkthrough of it will definitely be tomorrow. But in a little bit here, we'll be looking to stop for our dinner break. We'll get that done and then continue on a little bit further for where we're going to end up for camping for tonight. So today's hiking is almost going to be done. We just stopped for our dinner break at a little water source. I just loaded up my freeze-dried meal there. Got that going. And it's currently raining on us, of course. A 10-day forecast had like clear and sunny, and we're getting sprinkled on. So that's about par for the course for this trail. We're all done with dinner. I think we got about a mile or just under a mile or so till we're going to be looking for our new little camping site. So we'll show you what that looks like when we get there shortly. Looking back up at some of the first starting areas for the Chinese wall. There's large, straight vertical cliffs. Still and raining, partly cloudy. We're almost up to the top of this summit. More glorious shots of the wall. Made it to camp. There's me all set up right there. There's the other guys with our one little stuffed animal mascot that we kept from the little claw grabber machine. We got one of the most epic sights on the whole trail, I think. We were up at this top of this summit with awesome overlooks at the start of the Chinese wall. I didn't think we'd see this at all until like tomorrow. But this is going to be awesome. It stretches for something like 10 plus miles, I think. We'll be continuing off that way in the morning and just enjoying the views. But we're also right at the start of the boundary marker for where they don't want you camping for like from here to the next like 2 miles north. So we're right on the edge of that. So I think that's it for another day of hiking. We don't have that much left. We'll finish up this stretch to get to East Glacier and then into Glacier National Park itself. So I'm counting down the days and just at that point where I got to enjoy every last moment left on trail because we're wrapping this thing up pretty quick here. Got lucky with an awesome view, awesome sight. The weather's cleared up some. Just got spat on rain for like an hour, but we're good for now as far as weather-wise. Continuing tomorrow. See how many miles we can do. Terrain's been awesome today, nice and easy. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you all in the morning. Good morning. Straight from the Chinese Wall. Definitely one of the best tent sites on the entire trail we've had so far. Me and Snow Turtle are heading out 7 o'clock, and Dr. Thunder is going to sleep in a little bit and catch up later. But I'm just going to spin the camera around real quick. And we got epic views all morning as we start the day just right along the side of the wall. And the sun's just starting to come up and start illuminating it. So awesome views. Here we go. Starting out, coming down from the pass we camped at. And as we get through the trees here, you can see more of the exposed area of the wall. It's something like 1,000-foot vertical cliff pretty much, where it's just kind of crumbled away like the rim of the Grand Canyon. We're down at the bottom of the area. And we're just walking along this for the next, I don't know how many miles. 5 or so. Just gotta stop and take video every 2 minutes. That's pretty awesome out here. Getting some final looks back. It's definitely one of those places where the scale of it is just too big. You gotta be here in person to really appreciate the majesty of the whole thing. But I think we're just at that point where we're coming up on the end of it, and the trail will be diverting away from the kind of remainder of the wall. Definitely something you got to come out here and see for yourself. There's the last view of the wall. So next up in a couple of miles is going to be where we have to start the Spotted Bear alternate, and that's going to link up eventually where we have to do the reroute for the Sydney fire. So we only got like, I don't know, 2 or 3 more miles of red line to do here before we're going to be doing a whole bunch of rerouting. Okay, we're at our junction to start this fire closure reroute alternate. So we're starting with the Spotted Bear alternate. So we're going to be jumping down this ways and into the next valley. We're stopped for a water break, and Dr. Thunder caught up. We'll be back on trail in a minute. Next stop is going to be for lunch break. So far this alternate hasn't been bad. A little muddy at times, a little overgrown, and there's lots of like post-rain and dew and stuff on the plants, so it's just a little wet brushing past everything. But we're still moving down the valley at a decent pace. It's not really slowing us down at all. We made it down to the bottom of this valley. That's the Spotted Bear River. Taking a chance to dry some stuff out. Just had a little condensation on the tent this morning. And we're due for our lunch break. Now we're done with our lunch break. I'm back on trail. We got about 10 miles of mostly flat valley walking, and then it shoots uphill to a big pass. We're gonna try to camp maybe somewhere on the uphill, because if we stop just before it, that's really not enough miles to get for today, but it's gonna be a long, big uphill, and there's not really much good camping options. Going up and over would be more of a longer day than what we're looking at, so we're kind of figuring out where the optimal camping spots coming up might be. But we're just cruising. Hopefully the bushwhacking doesn't get too bad, but the trail's just a little overgrown. I've had to do a couple of river crossings, and most of them aren't that bad, but I got my feet wet once. I only picked up a little frog in the road. We gotta make sure he's okay and move him off to the side. We made it to this cool like cabin area. It's called the Pentagon. We're gonna stop here for just a quick bathroom break. There's an outhouse here somewhere, and snacks and stuff. I think we're looking at doing a few more miles and then stopping for a dinner break, and then another mile maybe. It kind of goes up a hill, so tenting options may be limited, but we'll be looking for tenting shortly after we stop for our food break. I'm just noticing on this cabin before we head out, this one little section that looks like it was a window or something going on here, but something definitely clawed its way on the sides here. That could have been a bear scratching at it. That's kind of cool looking. We're done with our quick break at the cabin. Back on trail. I think our current plan is to go about 2.5 miles from here. There's like a designated Tentsite area icon just before a really big climb uphill. And we'll probably stop there, probably for the day. You gotta check that place out and see what it looks like, how accommodating it is for 3 tents. And it's, I don't know if I mentioned earlier, but intermittent, very light sprinkles of rain, but it's still sprinkling rain on us. Well, here's our camp setup, kind of in not optimal and tight quarters, kind of rooty, uneven ground. And it rained on us all the way from the cabin we were at up to this site, about 2.5 miles or so. We're right at the base for where this major climb like 4 miles uphill. We'll hit that all tomorrow. Oh, but everything is soaking wet. I'm worn out. I'm slightly grumpy. We're gonna get settled in. I'm signing off. I'll see you guys in the next one.